to get the SF90 right now. Literally 2 years ago. I'm gonna pull it up right now. I'm gonna show you guys. 2 years ago, I want to show you a screenshot. Check this out. Let's find. Boom, boom, boom. 2 years ago, I was working at Jersey Mike's, making sandwiches, and this was my bank account. You see, September 2023, negative $89, $0 in my savings. My credit card was maxed out at $499 because I had a $500 limit. Grinded every single day. Had Shopify stores frozen because I couldn't pay the $30 bill. Made TikTok accounts, Instagram accounts, tried a journaling business, tried to freaking making a candle business, but documented my entire journey, literally journaling every single solitary day. Got to the point where, you know, I'm posting on YouTube. You guys can see this is my first 400 subscribers. You can see my first 1,000 subscribers. You can see this is back in January of last year. Booking calls all day long from 6:30 in the morning to 7 p.m. at night, just taking sales calls, no qualification, no idea what I was doing, but just trying to collect as much payments as I could, being in the trenches, learning the game, documenting my journey, and working as hard as I could to just try and get some momentum. And once I got that momentum, I was able to capitalize on that momentum and make calculated risks that applied pressure faster and allowed me to progress faster than my competition. And I've continued with that strategy, documenting my entire journey. And today we're going to get a new Ferrari at 20 years old. I'm stoked. Hope you guys enjoy this video. It's gonna be a banger. We're gonna have a bunch of clips for you guys. Shoot, we're gonna go to the gym, we're gonna train, we're gonna drive the Ferrari around, we're gonna talk to some cool people, and hope this is inspiring wherever you're at on your journey. Maybe you just made your first $10,000 month, or you're already on the way to make 100K. I hope this shows you that anything is possible when you truly focus on value and you focus on delivering a good product and sharing your mission with the world. And I can't wait for you guys to be in this exact same spot, going to get your dream car one day soon. Let's go.
Go. All right, John, I'm gonna bring you in. Guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Carrier Motor Cars. Jason went ahead and hooked up a deal here at the store where he sold his personal SF90. John, come on in here. This gentleman went ahead and did something big. The next guy driving around Miami, Florida with 1,000 freaking horses.
All right, guys, so I'm actually editing the video right now. What you're about to see is me pulling the sheet off of a red SF90. The reason we did that is because I thought I was gonna get it wrapped red, and I was like, oh, let's just use, because there was a few SF90s there. I was like, let's just use the red one so that when I'm making content, it's the same. And then the white, it grew on me because it looked super sick, so we just kept it. So just imagine in your head that it's the exact same car, because that's what we were trying to do. But I kept it white, so you get the picture. But back to the vlog. I just wanted to interrupt and tell you guys that so you weren't confused.
Horsepower, check that bad boy out. Let's go. So you guys might notice that it is red. This guy moves quick. Already freshly done on the wrap. He's going to be taking out of here. Like 360 2.3. Let's go. Rock and roll. Thank you guys. Let's go.
You gotta do an ad now.
Huh?
Did you have him do like a PPI before you got it?
All right, boys, so obviously, of course, we're taking the SF90 to Georgia. Even the Urus got crazy looks in Georgia, so The SF90 is gonna be like a freaking spaceship, but pretty rushed. The guy that was taking it, he was a bit late. He was supposed to come this morning, and I've got a flight in just a couple hours. So I'm gonna load it up, and then it's gonna be same day delivery because I have a really cool guy here in Miami. I'm taking my AR because we're gonna go shoot a little bit, and I'm going with my boy Jason. So I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna load it. Let's go. This is the worst part about owning 3 supercars, is driving them down from my parking spot. But what a first world problem. It's the best problem to ever have. Perfect. It's a little bit on the outside. You're maybe an inch over. Yeah, that's good. You're good. You're chilling. Turn the right a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah. All right, now come forward. We got the car loaded up, on its way to Atlanta. Let's get it. So we got home, said what up to my parents, and then literally ate and went to sleep for a couple hours, and then the Ferrari just got here. It's like 2 a.m. So we're gonna unload it, and I'm gonna go back to sleep, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, so there's a crazy view seeing this in the driveway. You can see on the top, you got the gas cap there, and then the electric. They took the cap because this is like a satin vanilla wrap, and I got some Ford Giottos and they're color matching it. So we're going to pick up the cap right now, and then we should have the wheels by tomorrow. But seeing this in the driveway, it's just crazy. Like, this is where I used to do my push-ups early in the morning. So we pulled up to Roadshow. My whip's sitting out there. Jason's looking at that Demon right there. Got a Revolto getting some work, and this is Lil Baby's SF90. Full Novatech kit. It looks really nasty. I'm just deciding whether I should get the factory caps or if I should just keep the Ford Giottos that are gonna come on my wheels. I think the Ford Giottos are sick, kind of like they have on this Cullinan, but maybe it looks a little bit more classy to keep it with the factory caps. We'll see. What do you think, bro? You want the Demon? Bro, it's nasty. In Miami, bro, that would... I'm gonna smoke you. I know. You're gonna smoke me to 60 miles an hour, and then you're gonna see my taillights after that. What I wanted to do is, instead of just flaunting the car that I got like everyone else does, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this video one of the most valuable videos ever, and instead of just being like, oh, I just bought this $500,000 car, I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I did to go from 2 years ago working at Jersey Mike's making minimum wage to actually being able to buy this car, in 2 years. I'm not talking about like the financials with my credit and like what I posted. I'm gonna talk to you about like how I took my story, the skill sets, and all the bad things and negative things that happened in the pain, and I turned them into a coaching business with my personal brand. So as you saw when I was getting the wheels done, the wheels actually got done. They're white on white. You can see them here now. I didn't have time to film it coming back before we went off to Puerto Rico. It was super, super quick, and it was a spontaneous trip, but you'll see it in a bunch of the content. Literally looks disgusting. They're 3-piece Ford Giottos. They actually came off Lil Baby's red on red SF90, if any of you guys have seen that before you got the Novatech one. But I'm gonna walk you through that. Literally everything you need to know. That's what the rest of this video is going to be, because I always have to separate myself from the rest of the industry because I actually care about you guys. So before you watch the Puerto Rico vlog, which will probably be coming out in just a couple of days, let's jump into this. Get out a notebook, take notes, because you're going to be able to apply this to your business, and it's going to make you a bunch of money. So hopefully you too can buy the Ferrari or the penthouse or whatever you want in the future once you've applied these systems. Let's jump into the screen right now.
All right, boys, let's get after it. So I know it's a little bit blurry because of the sun, but I wanted you guys to see this beautiful view. Bro, it looks absolutely crazy. But I'm here in Puerto Rico, and I've been ripping out this Miro board for you because I didn't want to let this be a video where I was just like, hey, guys, I got a new Ferrari. Let's go. Peace. I wanted to educate you guys on what I did to go from working at Jersey Mike's, literally making minimum wage, as you can see right here, to buying a $500,000 Ferrari in just about 2 years. These pictures are a little over 2 years apart, but this was right before I went down the journey of starting the self-reflection and then into the atonement and then into the personal development. And then as you guys saw me appear on YouTube. So what do I mean by atonement, reflection, right? What am I talking about? Well, I'm going to step-by-step break down, not necessarily like, here's the content that I made that got me from there to there, because a lot of times that doesn't really work. I'm going to walk you guys through all of the mental decisions I made, how my story and my skill sets helped me craft my offer, learn how to create a personal brand, and how I actually learned from all of the lessons that my life taught me, and who this is going to help the most. Listen to this. This isn't necessarily going to help you the most if you're starting from zero, right? If you're starting from zero, this will help you. But who this actually is going to benefit are the guys who have already made some money in their coaching business and they're looking to take it to the next level. And I'm going to tell you why. Because understanding your past, the more you understand your past, the more you understand where your authority lies and who you can help. And the closer you get to that ICP, which in e-com it has a different term, but to me that's ideal client persona. It's like the exact person you should be selling to, who's going to resonate with you the most. It helps hone in your messaging. It helps craft you as this person that people look at as an expert, and it helps you stay the most authentic. So this is going to help you the most if you've already made money and you're looking to take your coaching business to the next level, and you're wondering why either you're not converting your followers the way that you should, why you're bottlenecked at 5, 10, or even $30,000 a month, and you're looking to go to 50 or 100. And if you want to create systems and processes of thought that are going to help you make better content that's more authentic, that helps you continue to grow through your story and your skill sets, that's what I'm going to do here, because there's a reason I was able to do this so quickly, and it's because I made good moves and I understood looking back why I made all of those moves and how they benefited me, because the dots only connect looking backwards. So I'm going to walk you through 3 key actions you need to take, and looking back, what I've done in taking those. The first one is reflect. The second one is direct. And the third one is disperse over and over. So let's get into it right now. As you can see, Ferrari with the white Forgiatos, it just got a tune. No, this is not paint, even though it looks so freaking good. It's a wrap. It's color matched wheels. It's got the peanut butter seats. It's the Aceto Fiorano package. It's just disgusting, craziest car ever. I also have a satin black wide body Urus, for those of you who don't know, but this is the new baby in the fleet, and this is something that I've wanted for a long time. Like when I was little, I loved cars, right? Like, I have a nice watch, I clothes are cool and stuff, but I really don't care about that. I love cars. I'll wear consignment clothes, and like live in a not that crazy apartment for my cool cars, right? Obviously, I want to max out every single solitary area, but this is what's most important to me. As you can tell, the rest of the stuff I don't care about that much. So I'm going to break it down so that you can, apply the same method to anything you want, whether it be the cars, the watches, the lifestyle, the freedom, the luxury, whatever it is. You're going to be able to use these exact same processes to add them to your business, right? So what we're going to go over first is reflect. Now, there's 3 different categories for each of these, or there's 3 different subsections for each of these categories, right? Under reflect, the first one is to understand yourself. The second one is to know your cornerstone. And the third one is to understand how each turn actually built your skill set and your story. So what I mean by understand yourself is a lot of guys they'll really try to speak to the pain points of, the people they're trying to attract, right? And then when they come into my coaching, I'll ask them, okay, well, why did you do this thing? And they'll give me a symptom, but they don't actually understand the pain. For example, I had this kid and, he's like, man, I'm really struggling with, speak into the exact pain, because that's something we go over a lot. If you can't speak to the exact pain, no one's going to pay you $3,000 or $4,000 for fitness coaching, right? So I'm like, okay, well, give me something that's really big you struggle with. He's like, yo, cheap dopamine. I'm like, okay, quantify that. Cheap dopamine is what? Because it could mean something completely different to someone else. He's like, well, just, going out, drinking for no reason, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, okay, so you really struggled with drinking. He's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, but I've been making videos about that. I'm like, okay, why did you struggle with drinking? He's like, well, like I wanted like validation from people. And I was like, okay, why did you want validation from people? And he's like, and he had just joined, right? That's why I'm taking him through this process. So you could tell he didn't even understand his own pain. Saying I'm drinking is not a pain point. That's a symptom of the pain point. Saying I'm drinking because I wanted validation is still a symptom. Drinking because you wanted validation. What caused the seeking for validation? My girlfriend broke up with me and I had put all of my eggs into the basket of our relationship and didn't develop myself at all as a man. And when the rubber hit the road and it was time for me to accept the fact that she wasn't going to be with me anymore, instead of working on myself and trying to fill that void, I started filling it with social validation, with trying to make myself, the party animal that everyone loved. And it left me more empty than before, but I didn't want to face the personal development. So I just kept drinking and drinking and drinking. It led down all these bad paths. That is a specific pain point right there. And you can tell he didn't even understand his pain, not because he didn't go through it, but because once he went through it, he never went back to reflect on it and understand why those things happened. You got me, right? So the same exact thing, know your cornerstone. We're going to go in depth for that. And then also understanding how each turn, how the breakup, or the bad thing happening to your parents, or the traumatic injury, or the huge realization, how all these different turns actually impacted your story, how they built your skill set and allowed you to be an authoritative figure, right? After that, we're going to go through direct, right? How do you actually create a precise target? Acquiring a precise target is very, very important because, as I've said in previous videos, if you can specifically, which a lot of people can, they can specifically identify and to a T, they can tell you exactly what they fear, but they cannot specifically or precisely tell you exactly what they want. Their wants and their desires and their goals are abstract, but their fears are specific. Therefore, they spend all of their time, because our brain doesn't want to focus on things that are abstract because it can't grasp it. It wants to understand. It wants to focus on the things that we fully have quantified, right? And if you understand exactly what you fear, exactly why you don't want it to happen, exactly what your weaknesses are, that's what's constantly going to be in your brain. And it doesn't matter how much you fight it, that's what you're going to attract. You want to always be specifically quantifying what you desire and what you want so that your brain is constantly looking for ways to get you there, right? And then the same goes, that builds into input-based goals, not just goals that are like, oh, I want this Ferrari. It's like, I want a Ferrari because that signifies that where my business is going is in the right direction. I'm going to put $300,000 down on it. And I know that if I can put up that chunk of cash from how my coaching business is flowing, because I'm focusing on getting 1,000 testimonials over just trying to get as many followers as possible. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to put out specific content every single solitary day and provide the best education and over deliver on each of my clients so that they bring me 4 new clients and the word of mouth about me spreads, right? You see how this is just a chain of events going down and down and down, but most people don't make goals like that. They're just like, oh, my goal is, I'm going to attract money this year. And it's like, bro, no, you're not, bro. That's how women think. I'm going to attract money this year. And then they just happen to end up on some vacation with some dude that doesn't care about them because they have nice tits, right? That's how they think manifestation works. But if you're watching this, you're probably a man, 99.9% of you guys, and that's not how it works. If you have no value to give, no one's just going to magically gift you, right? And then Last, for direction, which is something that no one talks about, but that is product-focused momentum. The reason I have so much momentum constantly catapulting me forwards, even though my following isn't growing that much, is because I built product-focused momentum in the beginning. You can go back and watch all my first videos on YouTube, and most of them, the end was me talking about product. And we're going to go into that later because this diagram that I'm about to show you, actually, we can just go into it right now, right? I took this it's a completely different chart, but I turned it into what I wanted it to be, right? So I call this the law of diminishing returns and the law of replenishing returns. So diminishing returns comes from marketing focused. At first, when all you focus on is traffic, you can skyrocket up, right? And this can be a long time, but you see the life cycle of some of these coaches is like 1 or 2 years where they make a bunch of money, and then it's just constantly declining. These are the Scam Millsaps, the Vincent Fishheads, the Wes Whiny Watsons and everything, where it's just up and up and up and up and up, and they build up so much momentum, but there becomes so much bad rapport, so much false goodwill that has built where people are unhappy with the product, where it was only focused on marketing. If someone's front end is just perfectly pristine and amazing, it's like that Ashton Hall guy, right? His front end is just so perfectly amazing and good, and then it's 10K for you to get one call with him, and there's no course, no resources, no documents. He's just like, bro, make the morning routine videos, and then everyone's left being like, why did I spend 10K for him to tell me something that I already knew? Makes no sense, correct? So my front end, it doesn't look crazy, and people are so confused. They're like, how's this guy making that much money? But then you go to the back end, and it was the law of replenishing returns, because at first it was just building. I'm losing front end market value because everyone else is attracted to the shiny object that's up here, growing. But once you hit the threshold, everyone else starts losing value, but all the people who have bought from me have gotten amazing returns. They're buying from me again and again, and they're bringing 4 people to me, and my testimonials start adding up, and I start getting amazing results because I spent all this extra time. And then we cross the threshold where it always pays off. And when the people who focused on marketing, it continues to bite them in the ass, the things that they were doing a year or 2 years ago, right? So this can almost be described as like the easy way. And no, marketing is not easy, right? You have to be a good marketer, but the best marketer is always going to make money, right? Even if they're going down here, if it's in an info business, for a few years to come, they're always going to be able to make a little bit of money, right? But here, the best product that learns to market well always wins in the long run. Now, if you have an amazing product and you can never figure out marketing, yes, you're not going to make money because it doesn't matter how good your product is. If no one knows who you are, it doesn't matter. But you want to always focus on product because it teaches you about your offer. It teaches you about who you're servicing. And as long as you are good at marketing, it'll continue to make you better and better because the more results you get, the more confidence you have. The marketing will come on the back end of that, but you should always be focusing on product. This is exactly what I've done. And that's why my Instagram doesn't look crazy. It's not all perfectly put together, cinematic, a million followers. But I print because all my clients are printing, and they've been so much goodwill, and I take care of them, and I'm always there for them, and I'm always providing the best results for them. So they're always bringing me new people, buying from me again, sending me goodwill. They're always supporting me. Whereas these guys here, it's just like, burn client, make money, burn client, make money, burn client, make money, burn client, make money. And then the people start to get educated and they start to talk, and word starts to spread. And as the superhuman AI starts to really ramp up, all of these people's bad will is going to start to be spread across the internet super fast. So a lot of you guys who have been focusing on marketing, you're going to see a lot of people's personal brands just when they haven't done any good product and they really don't know what they're doing, right? And after that, we're going to talk about disperse. So again, diving deeper on good product quality, how to build relationship while also being the consumer's top of mind, and how that's going to blend into crazy amounts of goodwill plus word of mouth. Because if you have word of mouth and high quantity of distribution in this business, in the info business, especially with coaching, it's over, right? And that's what I've done with my business model, and that's what I want to make sure you guys do as you move forward, right? So let's dive into the first one, reflect and understanding yourself, okay? So over here on the left side, This is how I've built out my story. So we have a couple things like your struggles, your character development, and then your key moments, right? So you can see up here, like 16 years old, going on spring break. I was in shape, had a good physique, worked out a bunch, but this is where my discipline started to lack because I was only disciplined in the gym, and the other areas of life where I was just a degenerate, not paying attention in school, really started to, you know, take over my training. I mean, you can tell this is a good physique for a 16-year-old or 17, however old I was. But if I looked like this, drinking, doing all this, what would I have looked like if I maximized my potential, right? Smoking weed all the time, tons of weed, right? Had this crazy accident here, and this just signifies and goes to show this was one of the turning points where it all started going downhill. You would think most people would almost die at 14 years old and then they would turn their life around. I went into an even worse spiral, right? And then this is me a week ago with all my clients on a yacht in Miami that cost like $8,000 just because I wanted to give them a good time, right? So what I'm doing with these pictures is I'm trying to show you that there's all these different pivotal moments that have led to who you actually are now. And if you don't understand, like if I didn't understand the thought process that happened here, how I felt in the hospital led me to going home, switching schools, becoming super depressed, going down the rabbit hole of, doing shrooms, acid, doing cocaine, smoking weed, drinking all the time, doing all these things and just destroying my potential, even though I was gifted with a lot of talent. If I didn't understand that, it would be hard for me to understand my audience's pain when I was a fitness coach, because that was my biggest and greatest offer, was the mindset and the routine and how it leads to the physique, because that was the problem with me. I already had decent genetics, but I didn't know how to capitalize on that and truly hold myself accountable, right? And we'll save it for another video because I've gone into it in plenty of other videos. Just go watch. There's a 3-hour video. There's a 50-minute video, right? All these different things where I've talked about how to understand the pain that you have and turn it into content. So we're not going to do that here. I'm just going to walk you through the frameworks of it so you can better understand. Go dive deeper into my content if you want to know why, because it's there for you and it'll make you money for free. Right? But I'm giving you an example so you can start to think about pivotal times in your life, right? This picture is signifying like how caught in lust I was. Like, bro, this is a crazy physique for, I think I was like 16 or 17 here, right? I don't look 17, had a little bit of, peach fuzz on the face. I was 15 here, smoking a pack of cigs on some shrooms, looking like an absolute dumbass. Do you know what I could have been doing with my potential back then? And instead I was just brain rot, chasing validation, like posting this picture on Snapchat was I the biggest idiot in the world? I must have been, right? So you have to keep in mind and understand, like, what was going on in this kid's head? What was the pain that he was facing and what did he need? And also, if your personal development journey happened when you were younger, you need to take the lessons that the journey taught you and apply them to the you now, right? So about 2 years later, once I finally came out on the other side, when I was 18, 19, building my YouTube, about 18 building my YouTube, I had to understand the lessons that the women, the drugs, the partying taught this young man, but apply them to, a 22-year-old version of me or 23-year-old version of me, because I didn't want to attract more kids like this. Why? Because he was broke. He was broke. So you have to understand who you're talking to and understand where your authority comes. I've always hung out with people that were way older than me. I've always been like the older brother figure to people who were older than me. I've always had, I only hang out with 30-year-olds and then a couple of my friends who are back home, even though I'm 20. I've got clients that are 40. I got clients that are 35, right? So I had to understand how these lessons applied to the ICP that I wanted to attract, right? And then there's plenty of key moments that you can use in your content that you need to go back and write down and break them down into a paragraph. Why it affected you, how you came back from it, and the lesson that you've learned. If you can't take each of these examples that apply to you and write down those 3 things, you're never going to be able to make good content that has solid messaging. And if you're having a realization for the first time of oh, I don't understand, I know why the girl left me, but I haven't actually sat there and gone back through my journey before I went through personal development and understood like who I was, why I had the pain, what I was avoiding, why she left me, why I covered it up. If you can't understand these things, you're not going to be able to speak to your ICP, right? So go and take the heartbreak, take the quitting the vices, take family deaths, hard times, financial struggles, emotional struggles, right? Whatever it is. And then you need to sit there and you need to write down how it affected you, why it happened, and the lesson that you learned from it, and also how you applied it to your life. You should be able to write pages about these things and go deep, go into the darkness, harness the pain so that you've mastered it and you can now speak about it. And if you haven't done this, that is one of the key parts of the reflection process. You can even see this is part of the personal development, right? This is me writing down. I've journaled every single solitary day. Plant the seeds now and act upon your reality. Fuck the system. Do not be fooled, for the Lord will not be mocked. Whatever you sow, so shall you reap, right? I'm writing down all of these things, right? And, foolish me for writing this right after writing a Bible verse, right? I was young and I was, trying to just do whatever I could, but I've written down every single solitary day since the day that I started. This is me in misery, hating this job. This is me working for like this handyman company. This is me literally junk hauling. This was my reality, cleaning out broke people's houses all day. They're junk, fat people. Right after this, I would usually go serve I was working either at this Mexican restaurant. I also worked at this Louisiana, like this Copeland's restaurant. And, I served there. Like I was working whatever, driving Uber, DoorDash, anything I could to make money. And just every single day, gym, wake up early, make videos, work on my business. I was losing money. I was in credit card debt. I was trying to scale these Amazon, these Shopify stores, because this was part of my, as I went from atonement into personal development stage. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a second if you keep watching into the diagram. This is where I was, right? And so after you understand your story, you have to understand your key motive, right? Is it money? Is the cars the thing that motivates you? Is it the dinners with, your sales team? Is it the clothes? Is it the watches, the jewelry? Is it the houses, the penthouse? Like what actually motivates you? And I'm not just talking about what seems nice, because all of these things seem nice. What's the biggest thing that like sets your heart on fire? And it doesn't have to be what you think is going to set your heart on fire forever. I know that when I'm 30, I'm probably not going to care about Ferraris and Lamborghinis much. I'll probably have them because it's always fun, but I'm not going to care about them the way that I did when I was 18 and the way that I think that they're cool now. I just know I won't, because what do I understand myself. I understand how I progress. When I was 16, what I liked and what I was obsessed with and what I thought was, the most important thing in the world, I didn't give a shit about when I was 17, right? So you have to understand this. Is it power? Is it status that makes you really, really, really motivated? Is it having the followers, the fame? Is it the women? Is it them being attracted to you? Is it just having them around? Is it the ability to change circumstances? Do you want to be able to call any restaurant, them hear your name, and even if they're booked up, they let you in? Do you want, to show up places and get special treatment just because of who you are and the public image that you have? Is that what motivates you? Is it the freedom? Oh, looks like I forgot to change this, right? But let's act like I did, right? Is it the freedom? Is it, the ability to go wherever you want, whenever you want? Is it the ability to, if you miss your flight and, you're in a different city and you have the money to just get the next flight over? Is it the ability to, if you need to take the private jet, you can. If you want to fly first class, you can. Is it the ability to not be held by what money has for you or what people want to do to you? Is it the ability to literally travel, think, explore on your own time? Is that what makes you excited? Or is it love? Is it having true relationships? Maybe it's your family, your brothers, and by brothers, I mean the guys that are so close to you that they literally feel like brothers. Is it having a true spouse, a partner that you can adventure through life with and grow and become one flesh with? Like, what is it that truly motivates you? And I'm not talking about sit here and be like, yeah, but I don't want to seem shallow, so I'm going to act like. You cannot act like something doesn't motivate you. Now, I had my Lambo that I have now, the blacked out. That was my screensaver from the day I decided that I was going to commit to starting a business when I was 17, when I was in high school. And I made it my screensaver on my school laptop and then my first laptop that I got after graduating. And I looked at it every single solitary day. And I literally have that exact same car sitting in my garage now next to my Ferrari, right? Figure out which one motivates you and understand it and use it as something to go towards, right? That doesn't have to be your entire direction, but you need to understand exactly what you want to the T and set it there and use it as a reward for yourself. And then you must understand all these skill sets, and you have to be a master of one or two and understand all of them. I understand every single customer service, communication, marketing, systems, and sales. My best traits are probably systems and communication, right? Systems and communication. But I'd say third place, customer service, sales, and then marketing is last. But the beautiful thing is these are all skills, so you can learn them and get better. My default package was communication and systems, right? Communication and systems. You can see here, customer service. This was a part of the one-on-one coaching program. It was a very intricate program that I spent like 100 hours building out for my fitness coaching clients when I had them, that my coaching clients that I help them scale their business have access to white label and use. This is an example of, me having onboarding calls in between sales calls way back in the day. I think this was like a year and a half ago when I was building my business, Aggression Fitness, right? Now, communication is the cornerstone for all of these. You've not met a single person who's wealthy who cannot speak well. Even the weirdos, like you even notice like Elon Musk, like he's so smart that it's hard for him to communicate with the average person because he's already analyzing like 10 paragraphs ahead of what word is actually coming out of his mouth. But you can see he's worked on it. Every single person who's wealthy, who's done something big, Sam Altman, weirdo, bro. He's so good at speaking. All of these people are very, very, very good at speaking. And if you aren't good at speaking, if you stutter, I don't care if English isn't your first language. I have clients who speak 3 languages. If you work on it, read out loud, work on your enunciation. I've got guys that go to my high school and they hit me up and they're like, bro, like I'm ready to do this business. I'm like, bro, the way you just text me, they're like, yeah, I don't know, bro. Like, I'm like, bro, you're white. Why are you speaking like this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up speaking the same way, but it was out of immaturity. I'm from Atlanta, right? I just used to just run around the streets all night when I was 15. But if you want to be wealthy, no one's paying you $3,000 for you to abbreviate words, not be able to spell, and sound like a degenerate. They're not. They're literally not. You need to sound like the person that they want to become. So you must master communication. And I don't just mean the way that you speak. I mean the way that you're able to explain points in an understandable way that people can grasp. I like to use analogies all the time. Analogies on top of analogies on top of analogies that help people grasp the topic that I am talking about. If you can't explain in analogies and if you can't take complex thought and put it into words that are easily digestible, you're never going to make money, right? That also ties into marketing, right? You can see here some of my clients. Bennett Luke came to me. He's making $40,000 a month within 4 months. Ty Win, massive dude, father, has social media experience, restarted his Instagram, came to me with 100 followers. By the time he was at like 300, he was already making 10K a month. I think he's about to crack 1,000 here. So you can see I work with all different types of people. Coach Blue, one of the most famous fitness coaches in the entire industry, 8 million followers. You would say, oh, well, why does a guy with 8 million followers work with John Mark, who has 40,000 followers on Instagram? Because I understand the inner workings of this business. It's not about followers. It's not. Coach Blue doesn't need to make a single follower for the rest of his life. He could make tens of millions of dollars a year if he fully understood what we're going through. He's only been a client for about a month. He's already doubled his income and had his best month, right? So you can see all of these guys. And then we have systems, right? Like the 100X fitness system, which is what I started developing way back when I was a fitness coach, that we actually have as a software now for every single person inside of my program to use and white label it and onboard their clients into and run them through, their tasks, their checkpoints, their daily trackers, have them go through videos, submit forms, all of these different things, right? Your systems are amazing because it doesn't matter how good your front end content is, if it's not even better on the back end, the person's going to feel like they're not taken care of. The person's going to have, remorse for you. You might be getting chargebacks. You have to over deliver on the back end. Once you made the payment, what most people don't understand is, like, once you receive the payment, you're now in debt. You are now in debt. When someone joins my program, I am now in debt to over deliver on that service to them. I have to, right? And that's what we do, and that's why we get such great results. As you can see, sales comes after it. These are screenshots from some of my clients' dashboards over the past couple of weeks. $100,000 a month. This student Hisham, you've got, $15,000 a week, $20,000 a week. This is a really, really, really big week. Right? $7,500 payments, right? $19,000 a day for, $3,000 payments, right? This is what happens when you understand your story, your key motive, and your skill sets, and you allow yourself to reflect and truly understands the inner workings of yourself. Now, the next one on reflect that we're going to go over is knowing your cornerstone, right? So here we have realization, atonement, and then personal development, because I believe that first, when you're going back and reflecting, you have to have the realization of, like, when did you decide you're going to change? Because it didn't immediately happen. There were all these things that built up, and I'm going to walk you through it in a second when we go through the 100X Mindset Heroes journey that I've developed. But this is when you realize what you've done. You realize where you are. It's almost like you gain consciousness, and then you start trying to go back and backtrack and fix your mistakes. You start trying to fix your mistakes. You start trying to rewrite history, right? Like this big injury that happened to me when I was 14 years old that, drastically changed my life, right? I call this the atonement stage, because when I realized where I was, I started trying to go back and fix my mistakes and rewrite history and, fix everything. And then you realize all of those mistakes have built you into who you are. All of those mistakes they're actions that you took, and they've gotten you to a place where you directly deserve to be. That's what I call the atonement stage. And the atonement stage is what leads to the personal development. When you realize, okay, I've gotten to this place. I'm here because of only me. No one else. I'm here because of only me. And that's when you realize I can't go backwards. All I can do is go forwards. And what I need to do now is develop myself into the greatest I can be. And these two pictures signify that personal development stage. You can see this is me working on in a coffee shop, working on, the product page in Shopify for one of my businesses that was literally just losing me money. This is me late night after leaving one of my jobs, working out, trying to get some YouTube content, right? So I'm going to walk you through the 100X Mindset Heroes journey so that you can understand your cornerstone a little bit better. Because for me, the period in between atonement and the personal development became my cornerstone for my offer for my first business that became successful, which was Aggression Fitness, my fitness coaching business, right? So hope this helps you, because you should be able to take your story and apply it to this framework and extract the goods, extract your skill set, your key motives, understand your story, know your cornerstone, and it should help you build out your product better, make your content better, and obviously help you get more clients, right, on the front end, right? So step one is realization. This is the step everyone must go through, because for real change to take place, momentum or action has to take a turn of direction, right? You're not just moving forward in life, and you just all of a sudden completely pivot 180 unless there's a roadblock. Something happens. There's a big setback, right? Nothing that is moving forward at a rapid speed derails without a major event or circumstance. Sometimes this is a massive problem that occurs in someone's life. Like the one for me, it was just a massive buildup, right? So sometimes it's just one big problem, that leads to like a newfound realization. But for others, it's a certain experience or a buildup of thoughts over time that finally breaks. For me, it was the buildup of thoughts. It was a big problem. It was kind of just this massive accumulative where finally one day I snapped. But I know guys who it's like on one day they've realized, like I had a client who, if you guys haven't watched the video where I broke down one of my client's offers for him, go watch it. It's the one that says Hermosi was wrong. But he was like, bro, I just remember waking up hungover and just realizing, what am I doing with my life? And like, that was the day that it clicked, right? So you have to understand, when did you have the realization? Why? what lesson you learned from it that led you to go through the atonement stage, right? Now, usually this part goes unnoticed and people just think it's like realization straight into personal development. And this is a big thing that makes you guys not have a good offer, not understand your audience, and have horrible messaging, right? This is where you actually apply the most pressure in trying to make up for all your lost time, your wrongdoings, and your missed opportunities. This is where you're kind of in that panic state where you realize, oh, what have I been doing with my life? I've been wasting my life. And you go through that like massive momentum spike. It's like almost like using your turbo and like using your nitrous all at once. And you kind of burn out. And that's when the true personal development starts. A lot of people think that their atonement stage is their personal development, but it's just them trying to like escape the pain and the guilt that they're having. And most of the work that you do during the atonement stage only leads you to realize that where you are is just part of your character development, and it's actually what's going to help you understand your purpose in life. And this is also what helps you truly serve others. Like, this is where you actually understand why you just gained consciousness in your realization. And for those of you who have gone through this process, and especially if you're a coach, you have gone through this process, so you should be following me completely. You should be taking notes and having epiphanies as I speak, right? But this is where most people burn out right before they get to the personal development stage. They'll go through that, like, changing their life, they'll do all these things, and then they'll be like, oh, I'm never going to be able to make up for what I did. The guilt comes in. It's almost like, they go back to taking the blue pill, right? Or they'll make it to the personal development, which is the third step. And this is what applies the most pressure to get your character closer to however you define success. But I think this is kind of like finding your style, right? Like, just like everyone has a different training style, different playing style, or a different fashion style, personal development is how you figure out the right sculpting method to teach yourself lessons and constantly mold your character into its full potential. For me, it was like hardcore. Wake up at 4 a.m., no drinking, no smoking, no going out, just complete monk. But for some people, they do that and they realize, like, maybe balance is a little bit better for me, or maybe I can be successful. I can go out occasionally. It's good for me, right? This is where you really learn, because everyone personal develops differently. This is where you really learn, like, what makes you. For me, I needed to like lack sleep and like go through pain, and like I needed to suffer to like chip away pieces of me that I hated. For some people, it's like they need to just optimize. They need to get 8 hours of sleep. They need to do these things. But it's like, for me, that wasn't what I did. So I went down the version that I needed most, right? And again, this is where you teach yourself lessons and you constantly mold your character into its full potential. It should be moving, changing, testing. And a lot of people fail, because this is where you really become a man. And this is where success separates the wannabes from the will bees. This is like the moat almost, where people have to put in crazy amounts of work for like 3 to 6 months with almost no motivation, because atonement is almost personal development with crazy motivation. It's like that euphoric state where you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this. Let's go. You feel like Batman and all this stuff. Personal development starts once you lose the motivation. And this is where most people fail. And they end up just taking the blue pill and going back to the reality they had before, because they're like, oh, it's easier. This is never going to work for me. And this is where they become it's like salt in the wound. They become really, really salty. They become really, really bitter at the people that didn't give up during the stage. But this is where you go to the next level if you don't give up. And now this is where everyone who becomes a coach actually should become a coach. If you haven't made it through these 3 steps, it's not your time, right? So I call step 4, it's your time to prophesize. Now, the reason I say this is because this is where it kind of becomes tricky. The reason I use the specific word prophesize is because the alchemy has to be perfectly on point for you to make money with this system, especially with a coaching business. But with proper guidance and when done right, the coaching business is the best way to make money after you've gone through these 3 steps. I think a lot of people make mistakes by either not going through these 3 steps, trying to start it early, or thinking that a coaching business is just like, they can like work out for a year and then just start coaching people. It really doesn't work like that. And the people that try to tell you it does are, stupid, right? So when I say prophesize, the word literally means to reveal or foretell something by or as if by divine inspiration. So when I was making my aggression talks, I had just had so much life change, so much development, so much new realization about my life. I realized I was living a lie, realized I believed so many things that weren't true. And it created this burning fire and passion in me to try and like save others from living the delusion that I was living. It was not for the money. When I first started making YouTube videos, I did not know you could make millions of dollars from a coaching business. It didn't make sense in my head. I thought I had to sell a product. And that's why I went down all those product based businesses that weren't info products, that were like literally physical goods, right? Because if you come across something that completely transformed your life, that was hidden, that you were blind to before, it's your duty to share that thing. And this is how me and hundreds of my clients feel, whether it's been a fitness transformation, a mindset transformation, or some type of business model that you've mastered and that's changed your life. The key is to have a burning passion about sharing it with others. And this must come first for the money to follow, right? Your videos must solely be based on, I would make this and share this with people, even if it would never bring me money, because it changed my life so much that I have a burning passion about it. And the beautiful thing is, eventually it will turn into a business that you can run because it's a business. But the key motive behind you starting it should be, I have to share this with others because this is what I needed. This is exactly what I needed. And I see most people fail because they don't go through these 3 steps, or they go through them and they don't understand them. And then they try and start a coaching business just solely because they want to make money, and they convince themselves they're just trying to help others. But now all of their videos, it's commoditized, it's manufactured, it's fake emotion, and they genuinely don't have a burning passion. I have a burning passion behind every single thing that I do, and that's why people get pissed off. They're like, bro, why is your neck vein popping out? Why are you yelling? I'm not yelling. I just care enough to emphatically speak to the point where you listen to me. How am I able to flow? It's been 37 minutes into this Miro board, and the ideas just pour into my brain because I care so much. I want you to have what I didn't have, that I've taken from my journey and applied to my business, right? Now, once you've created that burning passion and you've gone through these 3 steps, right, the money will follow. And if it's not mastered in that order, the money will not come. Or if it does come, it will be short-lived, and it will ultimately lead to your downfall because you did it for the wrong reasons. But I promise you, every single one of you guys who are watching this video, you've probably gone through these. The key is now understanding why you went through these, and then getting to the state where you can prophesize and now tell people. And I'm not saying you're like a prophet from God. That's not what I'm saying. You have to speak about it with a burning passion, right? And lastly, for reflection, is you need to put all of those things in front of the right people in the right platform. Do not get caught up in the rat race of content. All you need is Instagram followers being sent to YouTube, YouTube subscribers being sent to Instagram to watch your stories, and then DM you, and easily accessible traffic being brought up from your reels and your carousel posts into your stories to be nurtured so that they go to your YouTube or into your DMs. And if they haven't seen your YouTube, you send them to your YouTube, and then they come back and they buy. That is the only system that you need to make $100,000 a month with your coaching business. You need it. You have to have both. If I had to choose one, it would just be YouTube, but every single one of you guys can have both. There's no reason you can't. Don't waste your time with TikTok. Don't waste your time with Twitter. Don't do any of this shit. It doesn't matter what you've heard. I have plenty of videos explaining this concept, so go watch them. I'm not going to go deep into it right now because this isn't about content. It's about understanding your story, but these are what you needed. This is literally what's gotten me to over $200,000 a month. This is all I use. No email, no. I get the stupidest people hitting me up every single solitary day. They're like, John, have you ever thought of using a landing page? And I'm like, my whole system is don't use a landing page, dumbass. And they try to act like I don't understand it, but it's like I understand it so well that I understand that people don't want to be sent to a landing page in a coaching business. They want value given to them. If I sent you guys to a landing page, no one would buy, because the number one reason you're buying into my mentorship is to have my specific overview of your business. Yes, the systems are amazing. Yes, it's to be educated. Yes, it's for the community. Yes, it's for the value, but it's also for the relationship that you get with me. If I sent you to a landing page to fill out some type form, number one, I would only have retards being converted instead of all of the talented clients. There's not a single coaching program that has as many talented just killers as mine does, because I only like to sell educated guys who are ready to work, and they're not ready to just like buy the dream and think that the work is going to be bypassed, right? So put it in front of the right people. This is all you need. Now, when it comes to direct, we have 3 steps. We need to acquire a precise target, right? Have input-based goals, and then product-focused momentum, like I said, right? So I wrote this one night in 2023, and this was right before 100X Mindset came to be and before I moved to Miami, right? But I wrote this to myself. It was like, to the John Mark that achieves it. To make $154,500 a month and take home is not an easy task. Thank you for never quitting. Thank you for never giving up. And thank you for never letting anyone tell you that you can't do it. Thank you for all the sacrifices that you made and all the no's that you said to protect the biggest yes, the highest version of you. Thank you for pushing every single day through every wave of doubt and every trial and tribulation. Thank you for all the early wake ups and the work you did, even when you felt like you couldn't anymore. All the tears you've shed and the effort that you have given is worth it. I promise you it's worth it. Every single sacrifice that you've made. Never slow down, no matter what goals you surpass in this life. Every ounce of pain, no matter how painful, is worth it. Continue to work tirelessly and set new goals vigorously. No one can stop your relentless intention. Thank you for your passion. It's your biggest gift, and no one can take it from you. Thank you for holding true to the promise you made. Thank you for achieving it, right? I wrote this to myself, not as a, I hope you achieve it, one day when we get there. No. I acquired a precise target. I thought that if, when I made, which we've well surpassed $154,500 a month, right? But I was like, I created this massive goal. I think I had just read like the 10X book or something like that. And so I was like, all I really wanted was like to make like 20,000, but I was like, bro, I have to make massive goals. So I was like, $50,000 a month in investments, 20,000 at charity, 10,000 on a penthouse, $6,000 a month on a Lamborghini, all these things. And I wrote this to myself, not as if like one day I hoped I would get there. Maybe I wrote this to myself knowing there was a version, like wrote this to me now, knowing I would look back and read it. And I wrote it as if it had already happened and the time just had not gone by. And guess what? Where are we now, right? You have to have ultimate belief. Now, input-based goals. Now, I created these. I've done 2 out of the 3. I haven't gotten the Royal Oak AP skeleton yet. This is not the model that I want. I'm not sure why it is this one. But the ceramic, haven't gotten that yet. It's like a $300,000 watch, and I just have yet to like watches enough to put that much money down into like just cash into a watch, but it's coming. I've got the dope spot in Miami. I actually really like the spot. I'm going to figure out how I can move into this exact spot, but I have the dope spot in Miami. I have the Ferrari, right? But why did I made like a vision board that looked like this, but my point with showing you these just like materialistic based goals is to remind you to make input based goals. How many things can you write out about this that becomes an input and not just a desire? Like if you were like, goal, have Ferrari SF90 by 25, that's not a goal. I want to have a Ferrari SF90. I want it to be white. I want it to be the Assetto Fiorano package. I want to have white Forgiatos on it, and I want to get the wrap done at this exact shop. I will have this by moving to Miami, by servicing 1,000 clients and providing the best testimonials ever, generating over $1 million for my clients in just 6 months, and always staying true to the person that I am by focusing on the product and never ever focusing on just marketing something that I don't believe in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because all those inputs lead to the Ferrari, right? So acquire a precise target, exactly where you're going, input-based goals, and then product-focused momentum, right? You can see the app that we have for our clients, right? For them to track, have their clients track their macros, right? This is inside of the mentorship. We have all these systems developed, 100X Fitness, protein, carbs, fats. We have all of these things, right? Helps them sell higher ticket prices, helps them 4x their client success rate we've seen, which makes them more money because you can't make money if you don't have testimonials. You can make like 1 or 2 months of money. If you don't have testimonials, you're cooked, right? So this helps them coach, check in, and almost guarantee success based on their clients. And the only variable is their client's work ethic, right? So all of these things will point you in the right direction. But I've been developing this since this was one of the first things I ever started working on. And because I understand myself, I was able to go back and build the exact product that I needed for my clients inside of our coaching business, right? And lastly, we have Disperse, right? So Disperse is getting this across all the other platforms and remaining with good product quality, building relationships and staying top of mind for consumers, also having goodwill and word of mouth. So the best way to stay top of mind is obviously, if we go back to this, we see the Instagram to YouTube system. That's the best way to stay top of mind. But when you couple that with like client word of mouth, you become unstoppable. You become unstoppable. If you go to my Instagram and then you click on the highlights, I would show you now, but you can't record on Instagram with Loom anymore, right? With some stupid privacy policy. If you go on my Instagram at John Mark STEV and you look in my highlights, you can see my story. You can see client results number 1 and client results number 2. And you can see all the videos of clients that I've worked with. Those guys still bring, because why? I post them with their name, with the tag. I'm always updating their testimonials. All these coaches that you see, they post one testimonial one time. And then it's like, what happened to this guy? Why are they not still working together? Why don't they follow each other anymore? Why can't I click on his tag and actually go to his profile? Why does this guy not actually have a fitness coaching offer and he had already made a bunch of money before he came to this person? This doesn't make any sense, right? A lot of it starts to seem fishy, but with me, I'm always getting new testimonials, killer guys, educated, very good, very talented, buying into my stuff and feeling like I over delivered. And you can click on their tag. You can go DM them. My clients get dozens of DMs a day of people reaching out, asking about my program, and they all only have good things to say because I've always over delivered. This is better than any marketing I could ever do because now I don't have to try and out market the bad will like some of these guys do. So the reason why it's short is because it's very, very simple to have moral standards. Always put your client first. Always over deliver with the best product. Take feedback. The best thing about an info business is if there's a bottleneck or they're asking for something, you can literally just add it. You can just add it. You are the master mechanic of your coaching business. You can constantly add things and you should constantly be updating your program, right? It's like, don't be a Brandon Carter. Don't sell a course from 2017 where you teach cold Facebook outreach and Facebook group networking, and you tell people to do 1,000 cold DMs a day. And if they don't reach that, you don't give them your money back and you don't do one-on-one coaching. These things don't work. I'm constantly updating my program because the consumer's always getting smarter. The algorithm is always changing and new methods are always arising. The landing page thing doesn't work anymore. Running ads under $100,000 a month doesn't work. It's stupid. The funnel, you don't need a funnel unless you're making $300,000 a month, right? You need relationship, goodwill, product-focused content, and you need to understand what we went through with Reflect, Direct, and Disperse. And if you follow this graphic the way that I've created it and you understand yourself, you too can get a Ferrari at whatever age that you want to get it. You can take the next 2 years or the next 6 months, depending on where you're at, and you can go from $20,000 to $100,000 a month. You can do that over the next few months. If you're already making money, you can apply these systems to your business to have better messaging, better content, craft a better offer, and get everything done. And if you want to see how we can do it for you, you can either watch one of the YouTube videos in the description or you can click the link and you can jump on the call with my team. If you need anything, DM me. I'll literally send you a voice message if you want to know if it's me, so that you can see, right? I answer all of my DMs. No, I do not need an appointment setter. Don't message me that, right? I have my system down. We are going to be at 500K a month very shortly. But if you want to join what we're doing, check out my testimonials first. Don't book a call without doing that. DM them, ask them what they think, right? And then once you understand my systems, jump on my team. They're going to walk you through the one-on-one dashboard that we have for you, all the resources that we have to scale your business, and go take calls with other people. I want you guys to. I actually don't like it when people get on, a call with my team to join my program and they haven't taken calls with anyone else, because then they're not able to see how good our stuff is compared to everyone else's. So go take calls with other people, then come on, let us show you what we have. And then if everything goes well, they'll book you on your first call with me, and we can scale you to, $50,000 to $100,000 a month. If you're just getting started, I can also help you as well. We have different systems for that, but I work best with the guys who, already have a following, so we can really get down into the nitty gritty, like the real business systems, not just starting your personal brand from scratch, even though a lot of my clients have come from that and they've come from nothing, and I've scaled them to, $40,000 or $50,000 a month. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for the support. I love all of you guys. It's crazy to see how far we've come from the old aggression talk days in the Acura to now being able to do aggression talks in the Ferrari. But I'm always going to keep separating myself, always going to keep over delivering on value. And if you have a coaching business or you're looking to build one, I cannot wait to see you in the team so that we can take your dreams to the next level. Love you, boys. Peace out.